Isabella Carl. I'm a first year here at Elon, and I am here to do the interview video over video. So I will get started. I have the questions here, so if I glance over, that's why. But the first one being, what are the 3 skills that you're hoping to gain from being an orientation leader? I feel like the top 3 for me would probably be furthering my leadership skills. I think that leadership is a big thing for me. I've done it a lot throughout high school in my Dance National Honor Society that I was the president of for 2 years, and then being like a teacher at my dance studio, being a choreographer at other playhouses in the towns and cities nearby. So just kind of furthering that leadership role, being able to be a leader, someone that those new kids and admitted students will be looking at. I also feel like cooperation and group connection. I feel like that skill is something that I would love to gain, love to further again. Just cooperation and connection from me to the new students coming in, between them, creating a space where they know that they will have people that they can look to for the first couple months, if they need to go somewhere, someone that they can reach out to, and then also me being there for them as well if they need anything. I also want to say, going off of that, I feel like the third skill for me would be communication. Communication during our orientation time, communication afterwards. Someone that, if they need anything, I can look for them. So, kind of building that communication, that open bond between us. For the second question, orientation days can be long and tiring. How do you motivate yourself to stay engaged throughout an experience? For this, I feel like my biggest thing is remembering who it's for. Yes, it will be tiring. Yes, I will be tired and it will be long days, but remembering that my OL, when I first came here, was kind of the person that I was first really talking to at Elon, the person who was showing me the ropes and giving me these tools. So just remembering that I am that person. I am that person that they are coming to. I am that person that they may first know here. And that's a really big deal. So, yes, the long days will be a lot, but motivating me will probably be that knowledge and that knowingness that I'm here for them and they are looking up to me, and I'm going to be that person. I'm going to rise to what they need. Even the best orientation leaders will face challenges within their group of new students. Describe a time when you felt challenged in your position, and how did you keep your stride? For me, there's a lot of different things that I could say, but in my job back at home, I am a dance teacher, and one of the biggest things for me was, there's time management skills, but there's also the management between you and the parents or you and that other person. So for me, there were a lot of times where I would be teaching a class and, just be confronted by a parent for needs that they needed met. And I would talk to them, I would communicate with them, I would figure out a solution where we're both happy, where things can really come together. And I think that's really important, because when you're in a position and you're challenged and you find something, I feel like it's always important to figure out the best way to move forward instead of taking a step back. Take a step back, you can see the situation, but always making sure that there's something that you have a goal to get towards, and making sure that that is known by both parties depending on what the situation is. So I think that is really important. Another one I could say is probably, I worked at Athleta back at home, and just there, I mean, you have a lot of customer service, there's a lot of things, and for that, especially because it's such a grand corporation, when you have people that are coming in and they have been there for so long and you're first coming in and just kind of learning the ropes, my biggest thing was always making sure to ask questions. If I wasn't sure, if I was faced with a challenge, not putting it all on myself. Now, obviously, yes, I can do that and I can figure it out if needed, but always knowing that if there is a higher up and if there is someone who you can go to, ask that manager. Make sure that you're learning and that so that next time it happens, you can truly do it yourself, and keeping that, again, that line of communication open and really having a great foundation that you can build off of and your expertise. For the next question. Transitioning into college can appear differently for each student. Explain a strength of yours that will provide support during their transition. I feel like for me, my biggest thing is authenticity. I love, I think it's most important that when, like, if and when I am in OL, that I am truly honest and I'm authentic with them. And if they need something, I truly do help them. The transition is hard, and I remember with my OL, I was being told like different building numbers and different things. And then I know on campus there's like a couple buildings that have the same name, and I was so confused. And I was just like pretending that I knew what I was talking about. But really, like, I want to dive into that with them and how, like, the transition, you will know what building you're going to. You will know the difference between the Corey business and then the Corey gym. And you will understand that it takes time and you're not alone. So, just kind of being authentic with them and having that compassion for them and saying, yes, like, if you're having a hard time, then I'm having a hard time. You know, I will feel it with you, and I we will figure it out together, and that's why I'm going to lead you through this. And also hopefully making it so that the transition is easy. Going back to the communication skills before, just kind of having that line of dialogue where if something isn't feeling easy, or if one certain thing is hitting a certain student more drastically, if it's just more different to them, that I'm there and that I can be there and say, you know what, that's totally valid, and let's dive into why, and then I can explain to you how we can go forward, and what about, like, what on campus can help you out. And after my time as, like, official orientation leader is over, like, how can you still get what you need from other groups or from people that I know that I can direct you to. So I think that that is really great. I think that honesty and authenticity is kind of leading you. And I think that also, just if you're genuine with someone, they'll be genuine back. And I want to make sure that they know that I'm not putting on a face for them. I'm not just being someone else. Like, I am being me for them. And then the last question. Tell me about a space or organization that you've been a part of that valued inclusivity and diversity. What did it feel like to be a part of that, and how could you foster that type of environment? So, I feel like for this one, again, I could say so many things, but I think I'm going to go with the time that I did for my studio. I was the director of a student choreography concert where we had around 30 to 50 kids choreograph their own dances, do their own things. I directed the whole thing, made sure that I had one-on-one talks with them if I needed to with them, if they needed ideas with things. I spoke with parents and had different parent meetings. I even gave them, like, office hours, quote unquote, so that parents could come to me for things if they said, I know this is a student choreography, but I want to make sure that my daughter or my son is, understanding fully and is ready to go on there. And I would make sure, like, if the students wanted me in there with the parents to give off ideas, I felt that that was really great. And it allowed me to understand inclusivity and diversity on the other side of things, not as much like being being the one that's being given it, but being able to give that. And I heard from many parents that it was a great opportunity to feel like one. Like, everyone in that choreography concert felt like one whole group, even though there were different pieces. And I also made sure my biggest thing for that was giving to charity. So I brought in a charity about teen suicide and teen mental health and things like that. And I thought that it was really important to do that as well. And we raised a bunch of money for this certain charity called Abby's Bakery. It is a little local charity in Pennsylvania, where I'm from. and it was great, and we had people speak, and I just remember people coming after and coming to me and saying, look, like, inclusivity mental health wise is even being cherished here, and I find that really endearing. And that was always my biggest thing. I wanted to make sure that people knew that, especially in dance and things like that, and with children, um, children going into like teen years, it's important to let them know that it's okay, and also to have the parents know that there are charities and there are things that they can go to if their kids are feeling that way. So I thought that was really important. And then another thing too, at my high school, I went to performing arts high school, and for the National Honor Society for Dance Arts, that I was the president of, we did a Love Your Body Week every year where we would make little baggies of notes and things to give out, and we would either like just anonymously put them in someone's bag or like lay them on a shelf somewhere, and then random people would just find them and they would smile, and it was just little things. Or we'd give little bags of candy and say like, eat what makes you happy, and things like that. So it was more about, again, like the inclusivity, body wise, mental health wise, understanding that happiness comes from being connected and being one, and not being alone and feeling that you can't speak to others about that. So yeah, I feel like I would bring that in to being an orientation leader, and I would bring that into this organization, and kind of just by letting them know, maybe not fully like specifically like love your body and bringing notes in and things like that, but just allowing them and giving them the reassurance that it will be okay. And that's why I'm here, and I went through the same thing last year. um, and so it's very fresh, and I still remember what it felt like. So yeah, I feel like that's how I would do it. And maybe I would, like, on the last day, give them all notes and just say, like, you got this. And this is a new journey that you're stepping into, but it doesn't mean it's going to be a bad journey. Like, and things will be rough, it's never going to be like sunshine and rainbows the whole time, but I'm here to hopefully make it easier and make those sunshine and rainbows come out a good bit. But yeah, so overall, those are all of the questions and answers. Thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing.